Hi there, this is Louise with you of Timeless Craft Mama, and today's scrapbook layout process video is created for Colour Blast. Now I'm really excited to bring you this page. It's something a little bit different, and it's a technique I'm going to share using the Colour Shimmer dusts in navy and cobalt and the white heavy gesso. So firstly, I've started with a piece of white 12 by 12 background cardstock, and I haven't prepped this in any way. What I'm going to do is run some white heavy gesso down the side and then just sprinkle that shimmer dust onto the still wet gesso, take my spatula and then spread that down the page, and you can see the effect that it gives here, how interesting and cool it actually comes out. Now you could do this to just one side of the page and make those strips go longer, but I've decided that based on the way I scrap, I'm going to do two sides of the page. So with the other side, I'm going to try and do the opposite of where those lines form and actually bring that colour shimmer dust down into the different areas. So I just love how this has turned out, and it was kind of more of an experiment in a technique as opposed to a layout that I wanted to create for you today. But because I love it so much, I've continued on with the page, and I'm going to use this fabulous collection of papers that match in with that cobalt and navy so well. So because the gesso and the colour shimmer has left a little bit of a mess down those sides, I decided to cover that up, and I'm going to use some curved paper and some washi tape for that. So once I've continued on with that washi underneath those layers, I'm going to actually add the second side off camera, so you're not going to see that, but basically repeating the same process but covering the opposite side of the layout. Now, I didn't really have a photo in mind when I started this page because, as I said earlier, it was an experiment in this particular technique. I had no idea of how it was going to turn out. So once I was happy, I decided that this photo of myself, which I know you don't get to see very often, was going to be really perfect on that blue background. Because for this particular race day, I had a lovely blue and black dress, and my fascinator, as you can see, is a very close match to the background of the layout. So a couple more scraps from this particular collection, and I'm going to make some cluster around my photo. I've used a white doily and also fussy cut some of the butterflies, which I feel work really well with this layout. They help give it that dimension, and because it's myself, I can get away with using the butterflies because it's a page about me. So everything else that you can see comes from this collection, and that's going to help me create the layers on this page. So I love how this looks balanced out. Off camera, I've added some computer journaling, and I've created this Cheers title using my Cameo. So I've cut the title 3 times, laid them on top of each other, and now I'm going to actually emboss them with the Snow White embossing powder. I had originally planned on using a blue, but because of where I wanted to put it on the layout, the background was already quite blue, and I sort of felt that the title was going to get lost. So I left it white and just added the Snow White just because it gives that little pop of sparkle. Now, I've only shown you one coat, but I did actually give it 2 coats of that embossing powder, and that's just to add that real extra pop of sparkle. So I hope you enjoyed that and you're inspired to try the new technique, and don't forget to stock up on Colour Blast products.